Welcome to Fluffy Sexy Bitches and welcome to this series of videos I'm uploading to my channel. If you're new to this series, please stay behind for this small intro that explains what these videos entail. If not, you can just skip it and enjoy the rest of the video. I have decided to read the SCPs in numerical order, and there's a lot of them, and these are going to be reaction videos. I'm going to read them out loud, and we're going to have jokes, off-tangent talks, funny edits, but also critique and just theorization. I'm going to read all the SCPs are on the Foundation currently. None of the ones that got replaced though, and also the joke ones. I record them in batches, so that means that for each time I record, I'm going to record 10 SCPs that I read, and I will split them apart into each individual video. So if one video is like 10 minutes and one video is 30 minutes long, that depends on how long the SCP in itself is. Now, and without further ado, I hope you enjoy, and I'm very excited to do this. I've been planning to do this for quite some time, and this is probably the best way I can think of right now. Maybe I'll change it in the future. Maybe I'll make it into a stream. Who knows? But this is how I want to try it out for now. Enjoy the rest of the video. Are there people outside? I constantly hear like a small voice. Oh boy, what is this? Mobile veins. Oh boy, what is this? What am I looking at? Well, this is odd, for me at least. I've never seen one like this before. Draft proposal. The purpose of this proposal is to review the original procedures regarding the entity in question and decide if there is a need for more applicable containment solution. Also attached is a recent incident regarding the need of this review. A revised copy of the procedures is to supersede the original procedures and any other documentation to support this change in protocol. Below are the electronic signatures of staff committees that are required of these revisions to be enacted and put into practice. Mobile veins, okay. Site 45, site superintendent pending, medical director approved, containment director approved, security director approved, senior physician approved, senior containment engineer approved, review board conditional, awaiting further data on SCP-466 threat level. Revised special containment procedures may be enacted in the meantime due to time constraints. See memorandum 466-72 for additional details. Footnotes. Don't even know what the footnote was in here. I didn't. The purpose of placing them together in a lockbox is to, wait, that doesn't. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. But this is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be a long one. Okay. Let's get to it. Just gonna keep this here, even though it's kind of a bit weird. So, mobile veins, Euclid. Special containment procedure. SCP-466 is locked in a 5 by 5 meter cubed SCP room. SCP-466 is to be fed 5 times a day through a one-way slot in the steel door with low iron meals of a mass below 0.1 kilograms, so 100 grams basically. The key to the door is accessible only to level 3 or higher personnel. Description: it is unknown if SCP-466 is a separate pathogen affecting a human host or the human host itself. Current theory suggests that former. For clarity, the host individual will be referred to as -2 and the possible infective agent as -1. -2 is a redacted is a redacted. Dash 2 exhibits anomalous vascular hypertrophy, particularly along the skin. This includes very broad arteries and veins. Oh, okay, yeah, mobile veins. Okay, and veins not part of normal human anatomy. The continually increasing mass of blood vessel is gradually displaying and eroding Dash 2 muscles and organs. Dash 2 is estimated to have approximately blank liters of blood. The excess vessels will sometimes rearrange under the skin, which is extremely painful if the host or hypothesized pathogen is threatened. The excess vessels will be physically tear the skin. The skin and extend up to blank meters outward. Ay. These defense vessels will constrict threats until neutralized. If cut, they hemorrhage as expected and will be replaced by more vessels from the deeper inside Dash 2's body. That's as demonstrated by the rearrangement. Dash 1 displays some degree of control over the mobile vessel when inside the body. This control is utilized when Dash 2 consumes food. If Dash 2 does not consume the entire meal, Dash 1 will use the collective strength of the mobile vessels and force feed Dash 2. This is advantageous for Dash 1. It appears that nutrients go primarily to expansion of the mobile vessels. And then we have an incident with an interview. So okay, I can try to get some voice acting done. Not gonna say it's gonna be good voice acting, but I can get it done. Incident report form. Incident date, that. Incident time 1325. Site locations. Research site. Oh, my right here just got a bit of a tinnitus effect. Just like in the moment I said site location. Research Site 45, Secure Medical Unit. Unique Identifier Autofill 466 dash. Excuse me. Is that? That's an 8. I thought for the moment that's a B. I was like, what's a B doing here? 080214. Civilians involved? No. Number of witnesses? 0. Injuries? Death? 0. Amnestics used? NA. Which means not archives or something like that? I forgot. Personnel involved, yes. Number of personnel involved, 6. Injuries, deaths, 2 minor injuries, 1 major injury, 3 oh boy. Now my shoulder's itchy. SCP involved, yeah, duh. Designation 466, containment breached, no. Details. SCP-466 and patient had begun to show abnormal behavior as extremities, excluding the head, began suffering from avascular necrosis over a 48-hour period. Afterwards, SCP-466 was observed to go into a state of acute cardiac arrest. Level 3 authorization was granted for a rapid response medical team to assist in the revival of the patient while observing the standard protocols of experiencing biological hazards. SCP-466 and patient were pronounced dead after 30 minutes of continuous resuscitation. SCP-466 and patient were left in the containment cell for another 48 hours of observation with no activity reported. Level 3 authorization. Oh my god, what is up with me? Authorization was then given to perform an autopsy on the deceased body. Upon opening the chest cavity, it was observed by medical staff that all arteries and veins had retracted from the external limbs and were clustered around the heart. Ooh. Ugh. Though the body was in a normal state of expected decay, the cardiovascular system seemed to show no signs of decomposition. During the autopsy, SCP-466 and the patient became active again and killed the 2 closest medical staff, Doctors Girard and Sharma. SCP-466 was observed appropriating the circulatory systems from the deceased into itself while also attempting to sever the head of the patient with a surgical bone saw. Oh! My God, you don't have to do all this. You don't have... No. The patient's head was seen redacted, which prompted Dr. Briggs to attempt a rescue of the patient from SCP-466. Dr. Briggs, who was subsequently killed, however, the distraction was timely enough to allow security teams to arrive on scene before the decapitation could take place. SCP-466 was eventually contained and the patient secured. 3 medical and security staff were treated with minor injuries, 2 fractures and 3 lacerations. 1 security officer had to be surgically treated for a punctured lung and heart. Action items: review procedures regarding SCP-466. Current procedures may not apply. Now this one is the Interview 12, level 3 access required. We have 2 access. We are level 3, babe. Interview date. Interview time 6:48. Site location: research site 45. Internal investigator Ruben Foster is the interviewer, and the interviewee is medical director Dr. Andrea Itzkovitz. Okay, Agent Foster. I'm gonna give him a bit of this voice right here. Alright, we're recording now. Have a seat, Doctor. And Doctor, I'm gonna give him a bit more of this. How long will this take? Depends. It's your first time in one of these? No, there wasn't one other time. Well, let's get started. Paper shuffling. You were, according to these case files, the one who authorized the autopsy, correct? I did. Would you like to elaborate a bit more, Doctor, for the record? Right. Well, we were certain that it died, and we waited for 2 days as per the protocols for expired anomalous entities in containment. I ordered the autopsy to be performed before the body decayed any further. Did you have the body scanned or order an X-ray beforehand? We did. I said we were doing it by book. You felt that was enough? Doctor, can you please answer? I didn't see a need for further countermeasures. We were dealing with the time constraints to perform the autopsy before the interrogation deadline, so no. Then what happened? It came back to life. You were present? I was in the observation booth. I was the one that called security. Was there a reason why security wasn't on standby? I told Dr. Sharma to take care of that. Apparently he didn't. Yes, now Dr. Sharma is dead. Yes. Tell me about Dr. Briggs during this incident. Well, he was the only person present in the room while security was being assembled, correct? Yes. Continue. Sorry, I think he was trying to save the patient. The body was in fairly poor condition and was falling apart, while the thing was fighting back. The patient was also alive. Yes, though it is just a head now, connected to that thing. So what prompted the doctors to attempt a rescue? I'm pretty sure there were words exchanged between them since the lungs were still attached. I couldn't make out the voice behind the glass. Any idea about what was said? No, but apparently it was enough to convince Briggs to risk his own life and try to stop the thing from sawing the patient off its body, I guess. I see. Then what happened? Briggs struggled while it was for seconds, and then I'm not really sure what you call it, rooted into him, I guess. And that's when security came in. Right, then I ran after the glass was shut out. Where is this entity and patient now? Heavily sedated in temporary containment until we figure out what to do next. The head still seems active, however. That is rather interesting. Is there anything else, any other details you want on record? Briggs was a good man. I regret his death, and I'm also going to ensure that his death was not in vain. Sentiments noted. Thank you, Doctor. So what happens now? I'll file this case report to my superiors. If there's a follow-up, we will be notified. Very well. We're done then? Yes. Dr. Itzkovitz leaves the room and closes the door. Agent Foster, for the record, I don't believe there was negligence involved here. The procedures were unfortunately outdated, as I'll see about interviewing the patient if possible. Click. Alright. Now we have the 2 interviews later. We have Ruben Foster, and we have a patient related to SCP-466, formerly known as -2. Okay. Alright. I have the recorder on. Open the cell, please. Be careful in there, sir. I'll escort you in. Alright then. Well, patient is indeed just ahead. The rest of it seems to be sedated, not much movement. Man, that's fucked up. Quiet, please. Excuse me? Can you hear me? Right. No lungs. Blink once for yes, twice for no. Alright? Good. Is your name redacted and you are blank years old? Indecipherable Commodore. This is fucking creepy. Are you in control of that? Agent Foster motions of to SCP-466 laying on the floor. Do you know why I want to separate from you? There's a long pause followed by do you want to be separated? Security guard raises weapon at the patient. Okay, calm down. Ease off the trigger, no harm is done. Expression changes to being frightened. I take it separation should not happen. The heart, you think it's evil perhaps? But while it's connected to you, still it can't... What exactly? Patient mouths the word become. Begone? Begone? No, become. Become what? Expression becomes panicked. Whoa, hey now, what did I say? Shit, it's starting to move. SCP-466 begins to lift itself up, dragging the patient's head across the floor and slowly stumbling towards the both men. Get out of the way! Move! Stop shooting! Get out of the cell! Alarm is triggered as both men leave and lock the door. Medical technician. Hurry! Get the IV bag in before it wakes up. Running footsteps. Fuck! We can't keep increasing dosage like this. It's resisting it. End of the interview. Okay. But we're not done. We're not done yet. There's the revision. And then there's the next page. There's so much. Okay. You clip pending possible reclassification after formal review. I'm getting hungry. Oh, I get this done before D&D tonight. This is a long one. SCP-466 is to be sealed in containment cell 73 in the E block at research site 45. And research, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I remember seeing this. I already remember seeing this. E block is to remain separated from the main installation for the entirety of SCP-466 captivity. Containment cell 73 is to have a 30 cm thick acrylic observational window installed and a door wheeled shut from the outside. SCP-466 primary containment component or its head and the primary heart connected to the brain stem are to be locked together in the perforated stainless steel lockbox at all times. That's where the addendum comes in, where it says the purpose of placing them together in the lockbox is to ensure the collateral is held against SCP-466 as to persuade it is not to damage the head. The head is to be considered a vital component of containment. Efforts must be made to ensure that SCP-466 does not put it in jeopardy and it remains connected at all times. 4 liters of a nutrient-rich water solution is to be sprayed into the containment tank every 10 hours. The nutrient solution will be adjusted and administered by medical staff. An oxygen-rich atmosphere, 25% O2, will be maintained in the cell at all times. In the event of a containment breach, SCP-466 is to be suppressed with gas-based flame weaponry. Description: SCP-466 is an amorphous and animate configuration of 4 human cardiovascular systems. The primary heart, SCP-466, is still attached to the original brain stem and thus still preserves its head. The other 3 were absorbed during a separate incident post-acquisition and served no purpose other than additional extension of the whole. All 4 hearts of SCP-466 have increased in size by 275% and are observed to beat in synchronization at 130 beats per minute. SCP-466 is considered to be sentient as it responds to stimuli and pain in appropriate manners. The veins and arteries of SCP-466 are able to move as the smooth muscle tissue, the tissue between the intima and adventitia, has developed into tissue resembling skeletal muscle. The ends of each appendage is also tipped with a sharp calcified barb. SCP-466 is observed to be dexterous and extremely mobile, and can even remain on vertical surface or ceiling for a long period of time. SCP-466 is capable of producing erythrocytes, monocytes, and thrombocytes. It is unknown where the hematopoietic progenitor cells are located. Those big boy words. As no bone marrow has been discovered, SCP-466 is not capable of angiogenesis and is dependent on appropriating other human cardiovascular systems in order to increase its mass. SCP-466 can, however, heal itself at an accelerated rate. SCP-466 is able to oxygenate without the use of lungs. It is theorized to extract oxygen and nutrients from the surrounding air. The primary heart still remains connected to the original brainstem, though it has attempted several times to physically separate itself from it, including hitting it against heart surfaces or attempted to rip it off. The behavior of this is not fully understood, but it is theorized that separating the head from SCP-466 will trigger another step in its ongoing development. SCP-466 has remained in an agitated state since the development of the perforated lockbox placed around its head and primary heart. Small amounts of water have been observed to drain from the perforated lockbox, though this is merely from condensation and should be ignored. Due to phenotypical similarities to SCP-1429-05, genetic materials was compared between the 2 specimens and found to have multiple orthologous sequences, possibly indicating common ancestry. And this one, okay. Patient, species human, compared to data. Okay. What is this supposed to be? Sorry. And as a result of blood sample. That is beyond me. And here's the last part, the memorandum. Okay, to Dr. Frederick Carlisle, Superintendent of Research Site 45, from Ethics Community Review Board Secretary. In light of the situation regarding SCP-466, whereas the current containment procedures no longer apply to its current condition and thereby necessitate the review and development of more applicable procedures and containment protocols, the following draft has been proposed. However, the patient associated with SCP-466 does invoke the authority of the ethics community as dealing with the well-being and moral decision of what is to be done in regards to both patient and entity. It is unfortunate that there is no ideal solution in separating both and that there is no sustainable solution in both perceiving or improving the quality of life of the patient without putting a substantial amount of risk on additional staff. It is not an easy decision. It will not be the first nor last time such a ruling is made. Thus, after carefully deliberation, this committee is tasked with making those difficult decisions on behalf of the Foundation and has decided the following measures. The patient be considered as lost collateral. Mental health consideration need not apply. That this lost collateral is considered a deterrent to SCP-466 development and hence to be considered a primary component in aiding containment. That's said, primary component be maintained and kept in reasonable functioning state. That all identity and details regarding the primary component be expunged from all records. That staff who are tasked with handling SCP-466 be screened for specific moral objections that may conflict with containment procedures. With these measures in place, the Ethics Committee Review Board grants a conditional approval to the following procedures in that they may be enacted immediately as such. If you have further questions or concerns, please contact us. Sincerely, Ethics Committee Review Board Secretary. Wow. Whew. This was a mouthful. I'm really getting hungry, but I'm going to see if I can get this done before I eat something. I might get some hazelnuts and chow down on those before I read the next one or something. Who knows? Well, this was a big read. This was a interesting one. This is the first SCP I saw that was done like this. So this, okay. Basically, in a different way, showing like how like an incident happened. Like it's normal, but it's definitely format. And this was the revision part, which is interesting. It's taking this, but but updating it. So this is like what they originally thought it was, and this is what it currently is. It's interesting. The SCP itself, brutal, fucking brutal, insane. I love it. I think out of all the 460 so far, that might be the best one. I mean, even like rating wise, it is the best one, but just in general, it sounds pretty good. Next to the Sion Storm, this is definitely top for me. What else? Part in the Box is pretty fun. I think that's a fun one. The Spoon that bends people, that's definitely third for me, I would say. I think the weakest so far is the TV. The Getaway Car is also a fun one. But yeah, no, okay. This one was a long read, but definitely an interesting one.